Hello, today we are going to look at how to set up a room using one point perspective in the Paint program. The first thing that you need to do is you need to set it for a printable size. So you're going to go up here and go to File, and under File you're going to go to this red check mark that says Properties. After you go to Properties, you want to make sure that it's set in inches and in color. And for the width, you want to make it 10. For the height, 5.5. If for some reason that doesn't work, please make sure that you've checked that it is in inches and hit OK. So this makes a nice size. It'll fit on your computer screen, and it is a good size to be printed later. To start with, we're going to be using the line tool. If you hover over top of that, it says line. So you're going to go to the line. That line will by default be pretty large. So you want to put it back to the skinniest line that they have. So we're going to go up to that one. And then we are going to create a horizon line. While you're creating the horizon line, make sure that you are using the Shift key. You want to hold down the Shift key on your computer and make that line go across, and that will make a perfectly straight line. Make sure you release that mouse button before you release the Shift key so that it stays nice and straight. Because if you don't, something like this will happen. You can see it's all stair-steppy, and if you release the Shift key first, it will go back to being a stair-steppy, not straight line. So let's go across here, and we're going to use the Shift key, hold it, release the mouse button, then release the Shift key. Okay, after that, we're going to need to create a vanishing point. And so with the vanishing point, we're going to use a brush. This is the only time we're going to use a brush. And for the size, I'm going to make that size pretty large so that I can see that vanishing point right there in the middle of my paper. We're going to do the interior of a room. So the first thing that we need to do for the room interior is to use that rectangle tool. Make sure that you're using the regular rectangle and not the rounded rectangle. You want just the rectangle. I like to make my room a little wider than it is tall. About this size is good. That way you're minimizing the amount of ceiling you have, and you have plenty of floor space and wall space as you go around. When you first make the shape, you can see that you can still change it at first, but once you click off of it, then it's pretty much done. As you're working, if you ever decide that you've made a mistake, the easiest way to fix that is to go to your computer and hit Control-Z, or you can go up here and do the undo, and it also gives you the Command key there. Go to undo, and it'll save. I think this version will do the last 20 things that you've done. That is the fastest and the best way to make sure that you are correcting your mistakes, because you don't want to go back and use the eraser, because that just gets cumbersome. So now we need to create perspective lines for the room. So you're going to go back to your line tool. You're going to start at the vanishing point. You're going to go through the corner of the box that you drew and then off the side. After that, you're going to click somewhere else on there to deactivate that line, and then you're going to do that for each of the corners. Now, remember, it's through the corner of the box that you drew. It's not the corners of the, we'll just call it the virtual paper. I know it's just a canvas here, but it's the virtual paper that's on the thing. We could care less where these corners are. What we're caring about right now are these corners here. Okay. So now we're going to erase the X that's on the inside. There's two different ways you can erase. You can go to the Select tool, which is right up here, and you can draw a box around that. And on your keyboard, you can hit the Delete key. Once you hit the Delete key, it'll take away everything that was in there. The other way, of course, that you can do it is you can just use the eraser tool, and you can go in with the eraser and do it that way. You can change the size of your eraser, make it quite large, or you can go back and make it really small. If you're having trouble seeing the details of that, you can go to your magnifying glass, and by using your magnifying glass, you can get in there really, really tight and go in there with a click. You can scroll around using your mouse, or you can also scroll around using the scroll bars that are on the sides. I like to use a little bit bigger. There we go. And get all those little corners out of there. To go back to the regular view, you go to View 100%, and there you have the basic room.